Assalamu alaikum. Today, inshallah, we will talk about Prophet Hud alayhi salam. Let's begin. Bismillah. As time passed, the children of Nuh alayhi salam, generations began to pass. They were talking to their children of how lucky they were as being from amongst those who were saved in the ark with Nuh alayhi salam. And then there came Shaitan, and with the same plan. Once again, he began to show the people the worship of those besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the people a lot. There was a lot of wealth, there was a lot of physical power and strength, but they began to worship idols once again. The people of Ad lived many years in the windswept hills of an area between Yemen and Oman. They were physically well built and renowned for their craftsmanship, especially in the construction of tall buildings with lofty towers. They were outstanding among all those nations in power and wealth, which unfortunately made them arrogant and boastful. They were very tall as palm trees. They were not arrogant of the existence of Allah, nor did they refuse to worship Him. What they refused was to worship Allah alone. They also worshipped other gods, including idols. This is one sin Allah does not forgive. Allah wanted to guide and discipline these people, so He sent a prophet from among them. This prophet was Hud, a noble man who handled his task with great resolutiveness and tolerance. Ibn Jarir reported that Prophet Hud alayhi salam was the 5th generation of Prophet Nuh. He also reported that Prophet Hud was from a tribe called Ad. Hud condemned that idol worshipping and admonished his people. My people, what is the benefit of these stones that you carve with your own hands and worship? In reality, it is an insult to the ability. There is only one deity worthy of worship, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Worship of Him and Him alone is forced on you. He created you, He provides for you, He is the one who will cause you to die. He gave you wonderful habits and blessed you in many ways. So believe in Him and do not be blind of His favors, or the same fate that destroyed Nuh's people will overtake you. With such reasoning, Hud hoped to instill faith in them, but they refused to accept his message. His people asked him, "Do you desire to be our master with your call? What payment do you want?" Hud tried to make them understand that he would receive his reward from Allah. He did not demand anything from them except that they will let the light of truth touch their minds and hearts. In Surah Hud, ayah 50 to 52, Allah the Almighty states, "And to Ad we sent their brother Hud. He said, O my people, worship Allah. You have no other law but Him. Certainly you do nothing but invent lies. O my people, I ask of you no reward for it. My reward is only from Him who created me. Will you not then understand? And O my people, ask forgiveness of your Lord and then repent to Him. He will send you from the sky abundant rain and add strength to your strength. So do not turn away as mujrimeen." They said in ayah 53-54, "O Hud, no evidence have you brought us, and we shall not leave our gods for your mere saying. And we are not believers in you. All that we say is that some of our gods, false deities, have seized you with evil." Madness. He said, "I call Allah to witness and bear you witness that I am free from which you ascribe as partners in worship." Hud tried to speak to them and explain about Allah's blessings, how Allah the Almighty had made them Nuh's successors, and how He had given them strength and power, and how He sent them rain to refine the soil. Hud's people looked about them and found they were the strongest on the earth. So they became more prouder and more obstinate. Thus they argued a lot with Hud. They asked, "O Hud, do you say that after we die and turn into dust, we will be resurrected?" He replied, "Yes, you will come back on the day of judgment, and each one of you will be asked about what you did." A peal of laughter was heard after the last statement. "How strange Hud's claims are," the disbelievers muttered among themselves. They believe that when a man dies, his body decays and turns into dust, which is swept away by the wind. How could that return to its original state? Then what is the significance of the Day of Judgment? Why do the dead return to life? All these questions were patiently received by Hud. Then he addressed his people concerning the Day of Judgment. He explained that the belief in the Day of Judgment is essential to Allah's justice, teaching them the same thing that every prophet taught about. Allah recounts his people's attitude towards the Day of Judgment in Surah Mu'minun, ayah 33-38. And the chiefs of his people, who disbelieved and denied the meeting in the year after, and to whom we are giving luxuries and comforts of this life, said, He is no more than a human being like you. He eats of what you eat, and drinks of what you drink. If you were to obey a human being like yourselves, then verily, you indeed would be losers. Does he promise that when you die and have become dust and bones, you shall come out alive, re-resurrected? Far, very far. Is that what you are promised? There is nothing but our life of this world. We die and we live, and we are not going to be resurrected. He is only a man who has invented a lie against Allah, but we are not going to believe in him. The chiefs of Hud's people asked, Is it not strange that Allah chooses one of us to reveal his message to? Hud replied, What is strange in that? Allah wants to guide you to the right way of life, so he sent me to warn you. Nuh's flood and his story are not far away from you, and do not forget what happened. All the disbelievers were destroyed, no matter how strong they were. Who is going to destroy us, Hud? The chiefs asked. Allah, replied Hud. The disbelievers among his people answered, We will be saved by our gods. Hud clarified to them that the gods they worshipped would be the reason for their destruction, and that is Allah alone who saves people, and no other power on earth can benefit or harm anyone. The conflict between Hud and his people continued. The years passed, and they became more prouder, more obstinate, more cruel, and more aggressive of their prophet's message. Furthermore, they started to accuse Hud of being a crazy psychopath. One day they told him, We now understand the secret of your madness. You insulted our gods and they harmed you. That is why you have become crazy. Allah Almighty repeats the words in Surah Hud, ayah 53-54. O Hud, no evidence have you brought us, and we shall not leave our gods for your mere saying, and we are not believers in you. All that we say is some of our gods, false deities, have seized you with evil madness. Hud had returned their challenge. He had no other way but to turn to Allah alone. No other alternative would give them the threatening ultimatum. He declared to them in Surah Hud, ayah 54-57, I call Allah to witness and bear you witness that I am free of which you ascribe as partners in worship with him. So plot against me, all of you, give me no respite. I put my trust in Allah, my Lord and your Lord. There is not a moving creature but He has grasp of your forelock. Verily, my Lord is on the straight path. So if you turn away, I have conveyed the message with which I was sent to you. My Lord will make another people succeed you, and you will not harm him. Thus Hud renounced them and their gods and confirmed his dependence on Allah, who had created him. Hud realized punishment would be incurred on the disbelievers among his people. It is one of the ways of life. Allah punishes the disbelievers no matter how rich, cruel, or great they are. Hud and his people waited for Allah's promise. A drought spread throughout the land, for the skies no longer sent its rain. The sun seared the desert sands. Hud's people stepped up in asking him, What is that drought, Hud? Hud answered, Allah is angry with you. If you believe in him, he will accept you and the rain will fall. You will become even stronger than you are. They mocked him and became more obstinate, sarcastic, and persevered in their unbelief. A drought increased, the trees turned yellow, and the plants died. A day came where they found the sky full of clouds. Hud's people were glad as they came out of their tents crying, A cloud which will give us rain. The weather changed suddenly from burning dry and hot to stinging cold, with wind that shook everything. trees, plants, shelters, men, and women. The wind increased day after day and night after night. Almighty Allah recounts in Surah Ahqaf, ayah 24 to 25. Then, when they saw it as a dense cloud coming towards their valley, they said, "This is a cloud bringing us rain." Nay, but it is that tournament which you were asking to be hastened, a wind wherein is a painful tournament, destroying everything by the command of its Lord. Hud's people started to flee. They ran to their shelters to hide, but the gale became stronger, ripping their shelters. They hid under cloth covers, but the gale became stronger still and tore away the covers. It slashed clothing and steel. It pretended the cuts on the body and destroyed it. It hardly touched anything before it was destroyed or killed. Its course sucked out, decomposed, and raw. The storm raged for 8 days and 7 nights. Allah the Exalted described it thus in Surah Haqqa, ayah 6 to 7. And as for Ad, they were destroyed by a furious, violent wind, which Allah imposed on them for 7 nights and 8 days in succession, so that you could see men lying overthrown as if they were hollow trunks of palm trees. The violent gale did not stop until the entire region was reduced to ruins and its wicked people were destroyed, swallowed by the sands of the desert. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala completely destroyed the civilization. Allah destroyed their buildings. Most scholars say the location of people of Ad had vanished, and now it is a desert. Only Hud and his followers remained unharmed. Some scholars say they migrated to Hadramaut and lived there in peace, worshipping Allah, their true Lord. I hope you enjoyed learning about our Prophet Hud. See you next time. Assalamu alaikum.
وإلى عاد أخاهم هودا قال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره إن أنتم إلا مفترون يا قوم لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إن أجري إلا على الذي فطرني أفلا تعقلون ويا قوم استغفروا ربكم ثم توبوا إليه يرسل السماء عليكم مدرارا ويزدكم قوة إلى قوتكم ولا تتولوا مجرمين قالوا يا هود ما جئتنا ببينة وما نحن بتاركي آلهتنا عن قولك وما نحن لك بمؤمنين إن نقول إلا اعتراك بعض آلهتنا بسوء قال إني أشهد الله واشهدوا أني بريء مما تشركون من دونه فكيدوني جميعا ثم لا تنظرون إني توكلت على الله ربي وربكم ما من دابة إلا هو آخذ بناصيتها إن ربي على صراط مستقيم فإن تولوا فقد بلغتكم ما أرسلت به إليكم ويستخلف ربي قوما غيركم ولا تضرونه شيئا إن ربي على كل شيء حفيظ ولما جاء أمرنا نجينا هودا والذين آمنوا معه برحمة منا ونجيناهم من عذاب غليظ وتلك عاد جحدوا بآيات ربهم وعصوا رسله واتبعوا أمر كل جبار عنيد وأتبعوا في هذه الدنيا لعنة ويوم القيامة ألا إن عادا قوم